Hi guys, and welcome to another episode on Crafter's Corner. I am Shell, your resident lefty and nutcase, and today I'm going to teach you how to do join as you go corner to corner, which you can do into a beautiful gingham like style like this. So now if you want to turn it into gingham, that's just partly done because I was doing that to show you. What I suggest is that you plot out what you're doing so that you've got a visual aid. And each row is, well, you've got a row of dark, medium, dark, medium, dark, medium, and then you've got medium, light, medium, light. So you will use twice as much of the medium as you will any other colour. So be warned, make that make sure you're aware of it. Now, also, if you are doing the join as you go method, every single block has to be an even number. So you can have 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, even numbers, but it has to be even number. Okay? It will not work if you have an odd number. So, hang on 1 second. Sorry about that. My son just shouted up asking where he'd put his stuff. Don't you know mothers are the fount of all knowledge? Apparently we're meant to know where everybody else's stuff is. So, what you do is you need to mark the front of your work. Now, as with all, I'm going to do this on here so you can see actually, this will make more sense, won't it? So, as with all corner to corner, you've got rows that go like that, and you've got rows that go like that, because that is how it goes. So let's say we're doing 6 blocks, because that's what I've got, okay? So that's one row, and then the next row would be like that, right? Because they're opposites, that's how they make it. It goes like that all the way along, right? I was throwing you some amazing shapes there, honestly. Should see me on the dance floor. So, what we need to do is we need for our top corner to be facing that. Now, this was the last stitch that I made. Okay, you can see where I've slip stitched because I left the tail there for you to see. Obviously, it wasn't at all. I couldn't be bothered to hide it right now. Can you tell? So, that's the stitch that we need, and you need to make sure that your corner stitch is facing up, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to put an really obvious stitch marker there, and so we know that this is the front of our work, right? Get it? Because it's a bit insane, this one. Right, I'm going to move this out of the way so that we can all carry on, and I'm going to move those threads. I've been sewing masks for my elderly auntie June, and yeah, so I've got thread everywhere. Right, so that's the front of it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to ignore the tails there because I really can't be bothered with them. We're going to slip stitch into the corner here. Just do a slip stitch, quick one. And oops, ignore my tail again because and we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like you would with any other single corner to corner. Because what we're doing now is we're just making that stitch there. Obviously, it's, yeah. So we're going to 1, 2, 3 in the 4th stitch. We're going to do a double crochet. 1, 2, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next stitch and a double crochet in the first chain that we made. Oops, try and get that. My other half has left the window open in here. It's decidedly chilly. Now we're going to slip stitch into this space here. So this, the first space after the block, we're going to just slip stitch. Or you know, you can single crochet, it doesn't really matter, slip stitch or single, whichever you prefer. And then we're going to chain 1, 2, 3. And we're going to slip stitch. We're going to skip this whole block and we're going to slip stitch into there. Okay? Yeah? Are you following? Follow me. And then we're going to turn our work. And now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do 3 double crochet into that space made by the chain 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into the top here, chain 3, and complete that row by doing 3 more double crochet even. There we go. And then for the next row, can you see how we've joined that already? See? So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the fourth chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, we are going to double crochet. So that's 1. And in the next chain, we're going to double crochet. And in the last chain, we're going to again double crochet. 1, 2. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip our work. So we've got it like that. And we're going to just see how I'm holding it. And we're going to just slip stitch into the top of that one. And then we're going to do 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to double crochet in each. So we're going to do 3 double crochet as you would do in the normal cluster. There you go. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to slip stitch into the top of this one here, like you would do normally with normal corner to corner. And we're going to do chain 3 and 3 doubles. So we're doing this as we're doing a normal corner to corner. The only difference is we're attaching it to the side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to slip stitch into the next, or single crochet, either which one you prefer. And then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to skip into the next one. Yeah, and then we're going to turn our work. Oops, and everything's going to fall over on my desk. Oh, I've got a bit of a yarn barb here, I think. Hang on. Oh, my dog's just come up here. This is trouble. It is trouble, isn't it, Mars Bar? No, don't help me with my yarn. So yeah, my yarn is barfed really bad. Typical when you need it to just not be silly, isn't it? And then all of a sudden it just becomes a heap of mess. Oops. Right. Oh, I'm going to pause this and sort this out. Right. I've got my yarn bath under control now, as you can clearly see. Right, so we've chained 3, And now we've slip stitched into there and turned our work, so we're going to chain 3 again, 2, 3, and we're going to do 3 double crochets into here. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do a slip stitch into the top there, chain 3, double crochet, slip stitch into the top of the next block, and we're going to make another block, so that's chain 3 and 3 double crochet, 2, 3, and then in the last one we're going to slip stitch, chain 3, and make another cluster there, so that's 3 double crochet, 2, 3. So now we're going to turn our work and chain 6, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4. In the fourth chain from the hook, we're going to double crochet, and then in the fifth chain from the hook, we're going to double crochet, and in the sixth chain from the hook, we are going to double crochet. So now we've made another block, and we're going to attach it with a slip stitch to the top of the last block that we did. And now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and work as you do a corner to corner all the way up to the top. So that's 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochet. It's quite rhythmic once you get into it, really. 2, 3. Yeah, it's really therapeutic, and it's not at all difficult. I mean, the pattern itself looked daunting when I was trying to get my head around how to do it, and as a lefty, because it says to attach it at a different point, and you just can't do that if you're left-handed. It just doesn't work. So slip stitch in there, and 2, 3, and so we're on the final block nearly now. Well, we'll be in a second. 1, 2, 3, and then we single crochet or slip stitch, whichever you prefer, and then we do right into the very corner, so we do chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then right into the very corner, into that first chain, we do slip stitch, turn our work, and we do 3 chains, double crochet, 3 chain, double crochet. Now after this row, it's just the decreasing as we go along, which you can see on my other corner to corner video, that I actually put up just to show people how to do the corner to corner on its own. This is different because it's the join as you go method. I will do another start of a block with you so that you've got how to join it all together. The pattern I read for this said to join bottom right, but I could not do that. I could only ever get it to work for me when I did top left. I don't suppose it matters all that much as long as you get the pattern in alignment, you know, so that all the up and down, up and across even stitches are up and across together, you know. Remember to count your blocks when you get to this point. So you know you need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we're still gonna go and do that one. 2, 3. Now we're going to see how we've joined that. See? And everything. I mean, yeah, it looks a bit wonky at the moment because it will until it's all settled. But all of the lines are still very much there and very much the same throughout the 2 blocks. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to turn our work and slip stitch all the way across to the chain space, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to, because we need to decrease now, so we are just doing the decrease, 2, 3, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the next block and chain 3 and do another cluster, which is 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and again we are going to slip stitch, chain 3 and do another cluster. Chain 3 and do another cluster. 2, 3, and slip stitch into the top here and do another cluster. Chain 3 even and do another cluster. So yeah, you do get into a rhythm with it. It's quite therapeutic. It's quite nice, and the work looks lovely when it's done. I've seen it done beautiful gingham patterns, and I've seen it done just regular squares as scrappy. You know, people just add scrap colours as and when. Yeah, that's. Oops. It's worked as well, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top there, turn it over and slip stitch across, and then chain 3 because we're still doing the decrease, and we will continue to decrease to the corner obviously. So 1, 2, 3. I really should shut that window, shouldn't I? Maybe then you wouldn't hear them and I wouldn't have to be freezing. I told you I was sewing masks yesterday, and I've got thread everywhere. 1, 2, 3. I think that was actually embroidery thread, I'm not sure. 2, 3. 2, 3, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top there, turn our work because again we're decreasing, and we're just going to slip stitch across to the chain space, 2, oops, 3, and then we're gonna chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, 2, 3, oops, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the top there, and do 1, 2, 3, turn your work and slip stitch across, oops, drop the stitch, 1, 2, 3. So if you guys haven't already, then I highly recommend joining the Facebook group. We're a bit mad. It's a bit sweary, so it's 18 plus. Really, some things get discussed very risque, shall we say. And it's an absolutely outstanding group of really, really, really good people. You know, they're both good at their crafts and they're good people. So yeah, if it's called Crafters Corner, and the link is in the description of this video. So we're gonna slip stitch across again and just chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and do our final block, 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to slip stitch into there and do a chain and leave a tail, which I'm probably never going to weave in, let's be fair. So now that's the front, and that's how you've got it. Now if you were right-handed, say, you would probably be going that way, but because I'm left-handed, I'm having to go that way with it. That's what I found with the pattern anyway. That's what works for me. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join the next block, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah. So you could, if you wanted to, do this block here, or you could do that block there. Either way, it's fine. You just do as you wish, and then you can do them in strips, you can do them in blocks of 4, or whatever. It's up to you. But I'm going to go back to the dark side, and I'm going to show you how to do the next one in the line. So, oops. I want to do a slip knot, and we're going to, up in this corner, right up in this corner, we're going to do a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain. No, Shell, I've got the wrong corner. Right, I've turned my work, haven't I? How dull am I? See, this is how easy it is that you can get confused with this lot. So, what you want to do is you want to always be working off one that's facing up. Well, that one wasn't facing up, that was facing across when I did it that way. So, see how that's facing up? Yeah. So we want to slip stitch and chain 6, 3, 5, 6, and in our fourth stitch from fourth chain from the hook you do a double, fifth chain from the hook you do a double, and lastly the last chain you do another double. There we go. And then now you slip stitch into the space between the two blocks, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and go into in between the next two blocks. Make sure it is actually in between the blocks, and then you turn your work 1, 2, 3, and you just 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, oops, and then we chain 6 and turn our work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we 1, 2, 3, fourth chain from the hook we do a double crochet, and the fifth chain from the hook we do a double crochet, and the last chain we do a double crochet. And then we slip stitch into the top of that last block, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, do double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and then we slip stitch into the top there, do another block which is chain 3 and double crochet into that one, 2, 3, pull out some more wool, and then we slip stitch into that one, do a slip stitch or a single crochet, whichever you prefer, chain 3, and then we do another one, turn your work, and then you carry on as normal with your, there you go. Oh, I've pulled my camera again. So you can see the lines that actually go all the way down the pattern, and that looks quite nice. And then you just carry on until you've got your 6, and then you start decreasing, and then you start adding more on each side. It's actually not as difficult as you think. Sometimes the pattern doesn't make sense, and you do need to do things a little bit differently if you are left-handed, rather than if you're, say, right-handed. I hope that this is enough for you. If there's any questions, any queries, then please don't hesitate to ask. I will do my best to show you what's what. Now, if you're doing the gingham, you would do this bit here, on top here would be the green, and then this bit here would be white, or the light silver. Yeah, hopefully that's enough for you. Please, drop us a like and a subscribe. That would be amazing. Come over and join our Mad Hatter group at Crafters Corner. Don't forget to check out the website, although it needs populating right at the moment. So if you have a craft that you would like to share with us, then please come and join us and give us some tutorials to put on our website, and we will do our best to help you. Any questions, any queries, just ask. Take care. Bye.